morning, and that's leading to some icy spots. We have the fog as well, so watch those bridges and overpasses.
And our bottom line this morning is you've got to give it a little bit of time. So many numbers were below the freezing mark. There's going to be plenty of sunshine in areas that are slippery out there for most places that picked up the snow today, so just let it melt. All right, winter storm Iola coming right behind that clipper, the first clipper. Then there's another one after this one. Mike Bettis and Tom Nizzle are going to track everything for you so you know how to time it out. Morning, guys.
Hey, good morning to you, Sam. Plenty of things to talk about this morning, including what could be a developing nor'easter that slides up the East Coast here, Tom. And for a lot of folks that may not know this, we look at something that's a sweet spot, the benchmark, if you will, the 40-70 line, 40 north and 70 west.
That's right. We use this as kind of like the Goldilocks area. If you're going to the left of that, you oftentimes will be too close to the coast, bring more warm air into the coast, more of a rain event. If you're too far to the right of that benchmark, you may move the precipitation off the coast altogether.
And a lot of times it comes down to how much influence we get from the ocean. If we get too much influence from the ocean, it's too warm. It modifies the temperatures. You don't get a lot of snow, you get rain.
That's correct. And this is a dilemma we work with. Let me boil it down to two simple facts. To get a winter snowstorm, you need moisture, you need precipitation in the form of snow, you need cold air as well. And this is something that we've got to take care of here when we look at the maps as to how this setup is going to take place.
All right, so normally we look at high pressure up in Canada, Tom, and usually this time of year, it's pretty darn cold in the northern states.
And it's actually pretty cold up here in Quebec now, even in northern New York, temperatures below zero. But look what happens to this high. Rather than staying locked in here as the low moves up the coast here, it's replaced by low pressure bringing a southwest flow of air across upstate New York into southern Quebec, and that is scouring out a lot of the cold air. So we're going to have a dilemma here with just how much cold air is going to be set up along the East Coast for snow.
It looks like, and even in the low behind that, there's a lot of southerly flow with this system and not a lot of northerly flow.
Hey, you know, we've had that a few times this year. You just can't get both of these to come together at the right place at the right time. So what we're looking at Friday night is more of a wintry mix of precipitation going Washington, probably rain, filling into a little bit of snow. Look what happens as we get into Saturday. Again, we're trying to thread a needle here with snow back into the cold air, but much of this precipitation is going to be in the form of a rain-snow mix and then rain along the coast.
We have fine-tuned our forecast just a little bit this morning, thinking maybe a little bit less snow for the I-95 corridor, maybe a little bit more marine influence, maybe a little bit more rain.
This is a huge challenge for the forecasters. The forecast is once again refined a bit. We've dropped the snowfall totals here because our newer model guidance is showing just a bit, maybe a degree or so, Mike, of warmer air above the surface. And so the totals have dropped off a bit. But don't drop your guards, because all we have to do is see a little bit of a shift in the track, just a 1 degree or 2 difference in the colder air, and these totals could go way up.
And again, we're talking here Saturday, Sunday. This is Thursday. We've got a little bit of time to work on the forecast. In behind that, though, Sunday into Monday comes the next clipper in behind. This does have enough cold air.
This should have more cold air to work with. This is the one I'm worried about. The beginning of the work week, next week, we're going to have to watch that very carefully going into the Monday time frame.
Midwest into the Mid-Atlantic into the Northeast. That really another one that's got our attention, guys.
All right, New Hampshire, one of the states, is kind of watching these next few clippers to see what they get. And here's the reason I am now moving to New Hampshire and calling myself a New Hampshireite.
Do you heart bacon?
I heart bacon, and that's because New Hampshire has the first ever scratch and sniff lottery ticket that smells like bacon, ladies and gentlemen. We told you the story earlier, and our friends in New Hampshire sent us the tickets.
It does smell smoky, I'll tell you that, but it costs $1. Okay, so the game is if you reveal a heart or a bacon with a double, you double the prize if you get that bacon as well, but you got to reveal the heart.
Okay.
Because you heart bacon.
700,000 of these tickets were sold last week. According to their website, the odds of winning are 1 in 4, or 4.12 if you want to be exact. And if you scratch off, you could win $1,000. I think, what are they? They are $1?
Yes, $1.
Okay, it may cost $1, but the bacon scent.
The best part too, and these guys know how to do PR, right? They're going around the state of New Hampshire and giving out bacon to promote this.
I'm moving to New Hampshire.
So all of New Hampshire smells like bacon.
Anna Ridis is like scratching them all off. She doesn't care about the story. We just want to know what we won. All right here on AMHQ, your weather continues this morning. Jen Carfagno and Chris Warren will get you up on this next winter storm.
Have a great day.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 78. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 69. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 80. Winds south-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Winter storm Iola is here, and it's already a record-setting storm.
And it's our 9th named storm, and it is just now getting started. And boy, is it getting started. We're in the lab today because we're going to be breaking down all angles of this huge weather event that's going to stretch from Texas all the way to Maine.
Yeah, that's right, guys. And you're going to want to stay right here because we have everything from the amount of snow to how much it's going to impact the Northeast this weekend. And that's all right here on Weather Center Live right now.
This is Weather Center Live. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Chris Warren.
And I'm Jen Carfagno, and we are in the lab today, joined by our storm specialist, Dr. Greg Postel. Dr. Postel, we got to break down this winter storm, Iola, where it's heading, how much snow it's going to bring. It's all coming up here in just a few minutes. But first, we've got to look at what's already happened. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Starting in New Mexico and Texas. Check out the scene here with the snow and the wind. This in Amarillo.
I mean, you look at these big flakes coming down, and you look at how much has piled up here in Amarillo, Texas, where roads are covered, in this case right here from this vantage point, and they have received a record amount of snow here.
And we do have crews on the scene right now. Let's go to Dave Malkoff. He is in Amarillo. Hello to you, Dave.
Hey, the official number is 11 inches. Look at that. I can put my hand right down in there. That's the accumulation on the ground. That's the average all throughout here. Some places have 14, but if you go to a vehicle that's been sitting here overnight, you can see that's a good foot if you get on top of this vehicle. I don't know if yeah, look at that. That's a foot of snow on top of there. So we've got 11 inches around town, some places with 14 inches. But the ground was very warm when it hit the ground. You see, it turned into slush here. We're talking more snow here than Philadelphia, more snow than Boston, and more snow than New York. Chris, I think more snow than Juneau, Alaska as well at this point.
Yeah, Dave, that certainly is an amazing thought there. When you look at Texas, a lot of people think of it as desert, and you're seeing that snow right there, Dave. In fact, Dave, stay with us. We're going to go to you, come back to you in just a moment. We want to show you that snow that's coming down right now where Dave is. Okay. Dave's right here in Amarillo. We're looking at the panhandle of Texas, and you go down 27 to Lubbock, you're also seeing some more of that snow as well. It's more of a spotty situation. The biggest hit was during the overnight hours, and we're still looking at some of that snow. If you go even a little bit farther down 27 into Lubbock, you're in the snow right now. And as we look at the bigger picture, some of the reports, and there have been quite a few reports of some heavy snow. Elk City, in that area, ranging between about 6 to 8 inches of snow. The higher amounts right around 8 inches of snow. So let's go back to Dave. He is in North Texas. And Dave, again, big changes in the past few days there in Amarillo, and now all of this snow.
Yeah, what I've heard is they were in shorts a few days ago, and now they're in deep, deep, deep snow, as they would say in Frozen, right? Look at this. This is I-40, and it is clear because of TxDOT. They came last night, pre-treated these bridges and roads, and then they came and shoveled it all off today in 2 different shifts. So the roads are slippery, so stay very, very slow if you can, or stay off of them altogether. Chris, we've got no school, no college, no church, and in some cases, no local government.
All right, Dave Malkoff, thank you very much. Now, let's go to Jen Carfagno, who's keeping an eye on what's next for the South? Where's that snow going to be, Jen?
Yeah, folks in Texas are wondering how far south the snow is going to get. So let's look at things here. Right now, we are still watching some snow in New Mexico and also watching some snow across portions of Texas. Let's go into Texas and show you what's going on. This is our water vapor, and I want you to actually look back here across Arizona and New Mexico. You see that spin? That has to swing all the way through Texas, so we still have some time to get some snow showers. We see it right now getting close to El Paso, Texas. Some of that here to the west of San Angelo, and we're watching that snow filter on through. It's not going to be as heavy as we saw last night, but we'll see some areas of 3 to 5 inches, maybe about 1 to 3 south of Midland, Texas with the snowfall, and it's today that we're timing it for you. Here's the timing. This is this afternoon, the rush hour home right here into western Texas. Snow is falling, and then we track that as all rain. Places like Dallas, I know you have a cold rain, but it is rain nonetheless, and we're tracking that as the whole system as we get into the Friday time frame. This is Friday afternoon. We'll be watching for the chance of some maybe rain snow mix from Arkansas into Kentucky. All right, so where does this go next? Let's go over to Greg Postel for more on that.
Jen, thank you very much. It's going to the northeast, guys, and there's going to be places that are going to get some snow that haven't seen much of it yet this year at all. Let's have a look at the map. This is what we're thinking. This is the answer key right here, guys. 1 to 3 inches, a large swath, really all the way from, say, western Maryland and West Virginia, all the way through the coastal locations of New England. And inside of that, there's some locations that we're going 3 to 5. Now, we'll not be surprised to see some locally higher amounts inside of this swath. Really, that does include the I-95 corridor. Remember, there hasn't been much snow yet this year, and finally, we're going to get some with this particular storm. But one of the reasons why we're not seeing like those huge amounts, like in excess of a foot, is because there's not a lot of cold air when this storm is moving through. It's going to be kind of borderline temperature-wise. So that's why you need to stay tuned here, because, again, a little wiggle in the temperature, 1 or 2 degrees, could make a huge difference, could double those snowfall totals. So look at where the storm position is on Saturday afternoon, late in the afternoon. It's actually a pretty good spot for in normal times, you'd see a blizzard in New England. It's a powerful storm. It's got lots of things going for it in terms of snowfall production.
Greg, that spiderweb looking map, I mean, that looks intense.
It does look intense. Exactly the right word.
Yeah, and you see all those lines there. Those are isobars. So those are lines of constant pressure, equal pressure. So those more of them we see tightly packed, the windier it's going to be. That's another impact. Right. So even if you don't get more than 3 or 4 inches, it's going to be windy and cold on the backside.
All right, guys. Thank you for that, Greg. You know, we're tracking all aspects of this storm. And I tell you what, as you just saw with Dr. Postel, if you live in the Northeast, you need to pay close attention.
You do, because this is going to be an evolving story. Just how much snow you're going to be swiping off of your car. And it could be just a couple of degrees that will make a big difference in a significant snow event. We're going to talk about how much snow we're going to get, the chances you're going to see a few inches, 0 or several inches. Also, when is this all going to happen?
That's right. We want to see your pictures as well. You can tweet your pictures from either North Texas or New Mexico or wherever you're seeing the snow. It's either at Jen Carfagno or at TVC Chris Warren, and we will show them today on the show. You can use the hashtag TexasSnow to get those pictures to us.
Again, we are on the front side of a big storm that has a long way to go with big impacts from Texas to the Northeast.
Sir, we're loaded and getting ready to go. We're going to need you on the runway.
Don't let a severe cold hold you back.
Sir?
Theraflu starts to get to work in your body in just 5 minutes. Theraflu breaks you free from your worst cold and flu symptoms. Theraflu, serious power.
Lucy is the first human to unlock more than 10% of her brain. That's amazing.
Lucy. Own it on Blu-ray High Def and Digital HD now.
Zantac heartburn alert. Stop. Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
How can power consumption in China impact wool exports from New Zealand, textile production in Spain, and the use of medical technology in the U.S.? At T. Rowe Price, we understand the connections of a complex global economy. It's just one reason over 85% of our mutual funds beat their 10-year Lipper average. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a prospectus or summary prospectus with investment information, risks, fees, and expenses to read and consider carefully before investing.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 78. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low. Friday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 80. Winds south-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Curling up in bed with a favorite book is nice, but I think women would rather curl up with their favorite man. But here's the thing. About half of men over 40 have some degree of erectile dysfunction. Well, Viagra helps guys with ED get and keep an erection. And remember, you only take it when you need it.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
There's a myth out there that you can't do it all. That you can't be everything to everyone. Well, consider that myth shattered. This is the full line of Ram ProMaster vans and the all-new Ram ProMaster City, built to help you run the town from every direction.
So yesterday's snow was brought to you by a Clipper. It was a very pretty snow, wasn't it? We're looking at the White House from the snowfall yesterday. It put down a nice coat out there to really make folks nervous on the roads. And we saw anywhere from a dusting, in some cases, a couple of inches worth of snow from parts of the Midwest to the Northeast. So let me show you how much snow fell yesterday. This is a look at the past snowfall here from yesterday's Clipper. We picked up more than 2.5 in Cleveland and Pittsburgh, more than that as well. 2.5 plus in Baltimore too. Left behind the snow coat and actually left behind some icy concerns this morning. Some of that slush on the roadways refroze overnight, and this morning has been tough in spots. Right now, Baltimore looking out here looks fine. Roads are cleared to blacktop. We're doing just fine. We are looking at just a little more light snow falling on the extreme eastern tip of Long Island as this Clipper exits, and we're really just looking at a few flurries throughout the rest of the Northeast today. Nothing real measurable out here. It could be a little bit of freezing drizzle in spots. That's my one caution for you today. Now, I'll tell you what, if we take a look at some of these snow totals in the Northeast so far this season, we are well below average. New York, Boston, Portland, all below average. Do we have a chance to catch up with this latest system we're tracking? Chris?
And Jen, some of those areas could potentially double the amounts they've received so far all season. Here's a look at how much snow expected at this point with this storm. And this is Friday through Sunday morning, a huge area in the 1 to 3 or 3 to 5 category. And this stretches from Tennessee all the way up to the Northeast. Now here's a look at the timing. Friday night, we're going to see this mess really start to move in. Starting out as rain or snow in New York City or Boston. This is Saturday. And then as we look now, it's Saturday night. We're going to see more of a change over to snow and then snow falling in Boston up to Bangor. And we're going to see things eventually start to dry out. Now, we look at the setup with this. We're going to watch the low that's in the southern plains right now move into the south. And then eventually it is going to move offshore. And this is where it becomes critical. Where exactly does this low go? Couple of options. It could come closer to coast or it could go out to sea. And the position of this does make all the difference in the world when it comes to who gets what.
And this position is something that we like to call the benchmark, kind of a net geeky thing we need to talk about, because this position really makes a difference between a big snowstorm or not.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the benchmark is really a dot on the map. It's located at 40 north and 70 west, so you can chart it out at home if you wanted to. But a lot of times when storms pass near that benchmark, if the track takes it right over or near it, they get a lot of snow in southeastern New England.
And we can talk about why. I mean, you look at what happens. If you have an area of low pressure, which is the center of a storm, about at this spot, you're going to get a great fetch of moisture coming into the Northeast. That's ingredient number one.
Yeah, ingredient, and probably the more important one is the cold air.
Yes. And that's really what's going to make or break it this time, isn't it?
This time around, I think we're going to have to watch the cold air and its progression, because that's going to say a lot about how much snow we're going to get. It's going to have a lot of moisture. It's a powerful storm. It's moving pretty quickly, but guys, I want to point out that there have been recent model runs that have kind of honed in on the fact that this storm is indeed going to pass very close to the benchmark. If you look at the last 5 model runs from the ECMWF model, or the Euro, look at this. They track it essentially right over that benchmark. So in some sense, you look at this and say, you know what? This is a pretty good track if I want a blizzard in the Northeast, right? But as we were mentioning, one of the key ingredients in all of this is the cold air, and we're not going to have a lot of it. So if you watch this thing, it gets very intense, but because of that, it's going to also bring in a little bit warm air, and there's not a lot of cold air in place to begin with. You add all that up, guys, and we end up with the snowfall accumulation map that looks like this.
So we're really going to have to wait and see whether or not in Times Square you're brushing off the snow
right,
or holding the umbrella.
Right, and stay tuned, guys, because it doesn't take much to get just enough colder. 1 or 2 degrees could make all the difference.
The atmosphere is complicated. We will break it down. In the meantime, we do have rain out there that's heading on the south side just ahead of this winter storm, Iola.
Also a chance for storms. Here's a live look right now at the rain we're seeing over Houston. More rain moving in.
If you're driving and you can't see clearly for 1 second at 60 miles per hour, you can't see clearly for 88 feet. And a lot can happen in 88 feet. That's why Bosch created the new Icon with ClearMax 365. It's a rubber technology for longer lasting performance, not found on any other wiper blade. Because like you, Bosch cares about what's ahead.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that former pro football player Ickey Woods will celebrate almost anything?
Number 44. Woo! 44, that's me!
Get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts.
Woo! Give me some!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
44, ladies, that's me! Woo! Gonna get some cold cuts today.
I have the worst cold with this runny nose. I better take something.
Dayquil Cold and Flu doesn't treat your runny nose.
Seriously?
Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough fights your worst cold symptoms plus your runny nose.
Oh, what a relief it is.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the world's longest lasting AA battery in high-tech devices. Up to 6 times longer than the other leading brand.
Even if it's your last one, always share the softness of Kleenex tissues and share your Kleenex Care story at KleenexCare.com.
Atlantic Beach, Florida.
Oh, love it.
Houma, Louisiana.
Oh, fantastic food. Carefree, Arkansas.
Been there.
Looneyville, Texas.
Done that. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Xfinity from Comcast gives you a front row seat to every team in the NHL. With NHL Center Ice, you can follow your favorite teams no matter where you live. You get up to 40 out-of-market games a week. And with the Sports app, only on X1, you can see all the live scores in real time and easily switch between close games. Order NHL Center Ice right now for just 4 easy payments of $24.99. Call 1-800-XFINITY or go online.
The DC-59 Animal is the most powerful cordless vacuum. It's powered by the Dyson Digital Motor, has 2-tier radial cyclone technology, and no loss of suction.
I was completely blown away by how much power it has.
It's balanced for cleaning up high, down low, and in between.
It seamlessly goes through my entire house.
To learn more about the DC-59 Animal, visit Dyson.com/DC-59.
Now is a good time to start thinking about how you want things to be.
Go long.
Every Sunday, the Titans of Weather bring the rain. Geek Out, Sundays at noon on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 78. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 69. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 80. Winds south-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Look out the window. We've got rain and temperatures in the 30s in Dallas. Ugh. Then we go to Houston, where we've also got some rain and maybe a few thunderstorms. New Orleans, nothing yet. Atlanta, got a lot of low clouds out there, but your rain is coming.
Jen, don't get used to those dry streets there in the French Quarter. That is going to change.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's going to change in a big way, too. We're talking about some big rain with this system that we're tracking. You know, we just talked about all the snow that's already happened, that's going to happen. Let's go to the rainy side of the system, and we've got a chilly rain in Dallas right now. Temperatures in the 30s, rain all the way down here into southern Texas too. San Antonio, a rain for you, especially north up towards Kerrville, Austin. It's raining around the Houston area. There's a little bit of thunder and lightning in some of that rain tracking in. So get ready for that. And then look at what's happening as we put on the winds. You're starting to see some circulation in an area of low pressure developing into just off the coast of Texas, and that is going to be the low that we track through the southeast. Let me show you how this is going to pan out in the southeast as we track a lot of moisture getting pumped into the Gulf of Mexico, and we will watch for some big rain over the coming days across the south and east. So for today, we're going to be watching for that rain from Texas spreading into Louisiana throughout the day today. This system is going to track through the area, and we are going to be watching for the rain to move with it. So from Texas to Mississippi today, you will see the rain move in. Looking at the rainy side of things, heading into Atlanta by tomorrow. You know how it is a rush hour in Atlanta. Think about that with a rainy one. That's you for tomorrow. And then Raleigh will see the chance for some rain as well spreading on in. Now, there is a area that we've got to watch in the red zone here for some thunderstorms, and we'll be talking more about that and the risk for severe weather. Again, we've got the rain, though, to talk about, and some of that rain is really going to add up. Look at this. 2 to 3 inches of rain in eastern Texas, maybe into southern Louisiana. A very widespread area of 1 to 2 inches of rain all across the southeast. This is going to be a pretty wet system, and we are going to see some heavy rain. It may not cause widespread flooding, but what it will cause is some issues on the road. roads, like hydroplaning, right? And any storm drains that are backed up or filled with leaves, they're going to have some small minor issues there. In New Orleans, for us, the timing is the rain moving in later this afternoon, by tonight especially, and then we'll have thunderstorms that keep you up tonight. They're rumbling through the overnight hours, at least until about midnight, and then the rain continues into the early morning hours here as well into New Orleans. So we've got the rainy side of things covered, and some of that rain heavy at times. But with that risk for severe weather, we've really got to look at the details and what we can expect. Chris, will we see the chance of tornadoes with this?
Jen, there are multiple threats with this. As you mentioned, we are looking at that threat for the very heavy rain. That's the first ingredient that most everybody here in the Southeast will be dealing with. But on top of that, there's going to be spotty hail. There's going to be spotty damaging winds. And as we look at some of these areas right here, and this is an area that includes parts of Tallahassee, parts of the Panhandle here into Alabama and Georgia. We're looking at just one of these storms. That's all it takes. It's just one for this to end up being a very bad day. So you do need to be on alert for that chance for some more of these strong storms. And you see where this is all setting up right in here. That goes along with that threat area. And then as we watch through time, this is now going into tomorrow morning and then into the afternoon. We still have that warm air in the frontal boundary right here. And this is where we're going to watch that low slowly meander, and this is where we're going to be dealing with that threat. Now timing it out here, going overnight tonight into the morning. It's going to be wet now in New Orleans. You're watching this rain move into the Panhandle, moving across Florida, northern portion of Florida, and into Georgia. But again, right in here is where we have to watch out that threat for some of the strongest storms. And as we look here, you can see in Tallahassee tomorrow, developing throughout the day, we're going for rain and then a better chance for some of the stronger storms as we go through the rest of the day. So this storm, Winter Storm Iola, is multifaceted with a severe side to it as well.
Very far-reaching aspects, actually. You see it in Texas right now, the snow that's already happened in Amarillo, record snowfall, actually. Will we see the same in the Northeast? We've got more analysis now.
This program brought to you by Cialis.
She inspires you. No question about that. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis Tadalafil for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
Who wants pizza roll?
This game day, fun harder with Totino's Pizza Rolls.
I want more than anything to win a gold medal, and we have someone who could do that.
Foxcatcher has been nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Director, and Best Screenplay.
The sport of wrestling is a low sport, and I don't like to see you being low.
It's also been nominated for 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards and a Producers Guild Award for Best Picture.
I am giving America hope.
Rated R, now playing.
What are you doing? There's no dip in that bowl.
They're Pringles tortillas. It's so good they don't need dip.
Can I have some from your bowl?
Please.
Not bad, right? Think I'll have some more.
It's a double dip. You double dipped.
Pringles tortillas, so good you don't dip them, you air dip them.
Pringles!
Gonna wash the dust off my soul. Gonna listen to some rock and roll. No cares, come what may. I'm making a beautiful day.
You're only young once, unless you have a Subaru.
The Subaru XV Crosstrek. Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 34 mpg. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
When it comes to good nutrition, I'm no expert. That would be my daughter.
Hi, Dad.
She's a dietitian. And back when I wasn't eating right, she got me drinking Boost. It's got a great taste, and it helps give me the nutrition I was missing, helping me stay more like me.
Boost Complete Nutritional Drink has 26 essential vitamins and minerals, including calcium and vitamin D to support strong bones, and 10 grams of protein to help maintain muscle, all with a delicious taste. Grandpa! Stay strong, stay active with Boost.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 78. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low. Friday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 80. Winds south-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
We asked for pictures and you delivered. They are coming in from Texas. Look at this snow in Canyon, Texas. Jackie Green, thank you so much. This is south of Amarillo, and you've got snow covering the cars.
What's this?
Is this a golf cart? A four-wheeler?
I think that might be a
tractor?
A kid's ride, maybe.
That could be the kid's ride.
But look how deep that snow is. You can really see it. In the other picture, it was hard to really see it, but there were tracks that went right into the garage.
Yes.
That gave it's hard to see it here. If you look above, there it is. See the tracks right there from the car?
Yeah. All right, so if you have a shovel, you've got to get it out here in Texas today. Keep the pictures coming in. You can tweet us at Jen Carfagna or at TWC Chris Warren, and you can use the hashtag TexasSnow, and we will find them and air them right here. Thanks for staying with us. Weather Center Live. I'm Jen Carfagna.
And I'm Chris Warren. This is a big storm, Winter Storm Iola, and it is going to last for days. It's starting right now in New Mexico, really hitting Texas hard. This is some of the scenes we've been dealing with, and eventually this mess will make its way all the way into the Northeast. It was a tough go, though, early this morning in the dark hours in North Texas.
Yeah, some of the heaviest snow fell overnight for sure, and it really piled up. You got roads, highways, even folks out there getting blanketed with snow, including our own Dave Malkoff, who has been out in the snow this morning. All right, some really interesting stats coming out, and it looks like, Dave, you are hard at work getting people out of the snow.
Yeah, our crew actually had to push some people out who spun out a little bit on the roadway, going about 20 miles an hour. Very, very slippery this morning. About 6 inches on the ground, but if you look at the total accumulation, this is record stuff right here. That is your 11 inches or foot on some of these vehicles. You'll see lots more. In some places around Amarillo, you'll see 14 inches on the ground. That's more snow than New York, more snow than Philadelphia, more snow than Boston. And as you can see with the snow coming down, it ain't over yet, you guys. Let's see what's coming up for here.
Yeah, Dave, a lot going on there. We want to show you the latest right now, Dave, and we're going to get back to you here in just a moment. But let's take a look at the radar. And this, all the blue, that shows us where the snow is right now. And we can zoom in a little bit. And right here along Interstate 20 and throughout Midland, you're seeing some of the heavier snow. That darker blue right there, that shows you some of the heaviest snow that's coming down right now. So for Midland, Texas, today and into tomorrow, this is through the afternoon hours, we're looking at rain or snow. And when the the snowflakes are going that way. That means there's going to be a wind component as well. Not really going to see the threat for snow go away until tomorrow just before daybreak. More snow expected for parts of New Mexico and Texas. Midland, you're looking at like 3 to 5 inches of snow with surrounding areas 1 to 3. So early on, it was a mess here. Now we're looking for a mess here. And Dave, I want to go back to Dave Malkoff in Amarillo, Texas. And Dave, how have you seen the roads from where you've been? I know you haven't been going all over town, but what have you noticed? How have you noticed things progress throughout the day?
Well, look, we got a big piece of farm equipment going down the roadway there. He's got a heavy truck, but look at these vehicles going over the bridges. The bridges can be very dangerous because that's the first thing to ice over. But let me tell you what, TxDOT has done a bang-up job here in the Amarillo district. They put down that ice and that salt and that brine overnight to get rid of the ice. They've been out in force today on 2 12-hour shifts, so they've kept these pretty clear, but the problem is, look how fluffy this is. It will actually blow back onto the roadway if we get any wind. Right now we don't have much wind. Their next challenge is it going to melt? Is it going to turn to ice? That's soon to be seen, but right now we got traffic flowing pretty well. No accidents so far, none, not one. Wow. And we've been checking it all day.
Dave Malkoff, thank you very much. No accidents have been reported. And as Dave mentioned, Jen, even now that the snow in some areas have stopped, doesn't mean the dangers are necessarily over on the roads.
Very true, and that's going to keep the Texas DOT very busy, and they have been all night long, right? Let's talk to them. On the phone is Paul Braun with the Texas Department of Transportation. Paul, thank you for joining us. First of all, it looks great. We've heard great reports so far, but what is your perspective of the status of the roads right now in the area?
We have been working since late yesterday afternoon all the way through the night and today trying to keep our major roadways passable. And they are passable. Nothing has been closed. But if you want to get through, you're going to have to do so at a slower speed and be careful and drive for those conditions. And we are continuing to work on clearing that snowpack off of the overpasses and bridges, as David was talking about, and also trying to get those lanes cleared off as best we can on the major roadways.
You know, the one concern also that Dave brought up was if the wind picks up and blows any snow back onto the roadways, that could cause some icing. Is there anything you can do ahead of that?
Well, we had that incident happen last night in many areas, especially in the rural and open areas, where the plows would go through and then the snow would be blown back, and that's where that icing happens underneath that snowpack. And so what we can do is we can put down de-icing material, we can put down traction material, but the biggest thing we can do is hopefully it warms up a little bit and we can blade it right off of the roadway.
Now, this was a big snow, a record-breaking snow for Amarillo. Did anything about the snow surprise your team?
We were expecting anywhere from 3 to 8 inches, and so we were out pre-treating before the snow fell. We had our crews all ready to go. Safety is our number one priority at TxDOT, and we make sure we have everything ready to go, all of our materials, our crews, our equipment, and when we put them out full force, boy, we needed them because we got a little more snow than we expected.
Well, Paul Braun with the Texas Department of Transportation, thank you to you and your team for the great work. The roads really do look great, but we urge caution to anyone heading out there today because things can change as the weather changes. Speaking of changes and tracks, where is the system tracking, guys, next?
And that's a huge question because this is going to go over a huge portion of the country, Dr. Postel, in the next couple of days.
Yeah, it's going to get into the Northeast sooner rather than later, so stay tuned for all the latest. Here's our latest snowfall map for the Northeast, how much we think you're going to get. Really, it's along the I-95 corridor here. Haven't seen much snow this season. You just saw earlier some of those totals. We'll easily double the amount you've gotten so far this season with this one storm coming up this weekend, largely Saturday night and early Sunday. And right now we're going 3 to 5 in Boston. But guys, watch out in that part of New England, in southeastern New England. This is a pretty powerful storm you don't want to mess around with. And if you were to err on the side of 3 to 5, I'd say probably more likely to go higher rather than lower.
And Dr. Post, so we talk about the track and how this is going to play out because where it goes is going to make a a huge difference.
Totally. I mean, a lot of times you'd look at a track like that, and if you're a snow lover in New England, you're frothing at the mouth thinking, this is brilliant. This is exactly what I want for a big snow all the way to the coast in New England. One of the limiting factors this time around is we don't have a ton of cold air during this time of zero. Jen, you and I were talking about this also, that, right now, yeah, it's cold, but when this thing moves through, there's not a big source of pool of cold air waiting to get drained in.
You look for that big high pressure system to feed the cold air in, and that's not quite there the way you would look for the perfect blizzard scenario.
And when you look at this map, you don't see the light blues from above coming in. It's more into that purple category.
Correct, right. You don't see a drainage of those purples getting down here. Yeah, it's colder enough back here, but what you really want is it to be cold right there on the coast. In other words, well below 32. And, it's going to be borderline. A couple degrees are going to matter a ton, guys. And this is a very powerful storm. It is what's called weather bomb, meaning it's going to explosively deepen in the open Atlantic there. And on its west side here, as we time it out through Saturday, there is going to be a sharp change between who gets snow and who gets rain. And as it strengthens on Saturday night, I do believe that snow is going to get to the coast. So watch out for heavy snow coming in Saturday night.
And the bottom line is, if you're in the Northeast, make sure you watch out in Texas, because that could be heading your way.
Exactly. Well, we can show you what it looks like in Texas thanks to our viewers. Jackie Green in Canyon, Texas, sent this picture in. You can keep your pictures coming to us on Twitter or Facebook. We'll get them to air.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 78. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 69. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 80. Winds south-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Progresso. I can't believe I'm eating bacon-enriched creamy cheese before my sister's wedding. Well, it's only 100 calories, so you'll be ready for that dress. Uh-huh. You don't love the dress? I love my sister.
40 flavors, 100 calories or less.
Home, Dad.
Thanks, buddy.
Does he know what he's doing?
He knows what he's doing.
Ready, Star Command. Prepare for launch.
This should be good.
To infinity!
We all have a Disney side.
Everyone in the car, let's go get them.
And the best place to show it is Disney Parks. So come to the place where the entire family can laugh, let loose, and play together. Disney Parks. Come on, it's time to show your Disney side.
Our eyes. They have a 200-degree range of sight, which is good for me. Hey! And bad for the Barkley twins.
Your brain can send information to the rest of your body at 268 miles an hour. 3 times the speed of a fastball.
Take care of your most important parts with Centrum. Multivitamins expertly designed with nutrients people don't get enough of from food alone. Centrum, for the most important parts of you.
No pictures of trucks pulling boats. No photos of men working on ranches. Just a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel that gets 156 more miles per tank than the Ford F-150 EcoBoost. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com.
How could a luminous protein in jellyfish impact life expectancy in the U.S., real estate in Hong Kong, and the optics industry in Germany? At T. Rowe Price, we understand the connections of a complex global economy. It's just one reason over 85% of our mutual funds beat their 10-year Lipper average. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a prospectus or summary prospectus with investment information, risks, fees, and expenses to read and consider carefully before investing.
Okay, ladies, whenever you're ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got this.
Oh, no, I'll get it.
Let me get it. I don't want you to pay for this.
It's not happening, honey.
Let her get it. She got her safe driving bonus check from Allstate last week, and it's her treat.
What about a tip?
Oh, here's one. Get an Allstate agent.
Nice.
Switch today and get 2 safe driving bonus checks a year for driving safely only from Allstate. Call 866-788-0900 now.
Here we go. Hold on, man. Is that a leak up there? That's a drip. Now that's a leak.
That is a leak.
And if you don't have Allstate Renters Insurance, game over.
Protect your valuables from things like water damage for as low as $4 a month when you add renter's insurance to your Allstate auto policy. Call 866-788-0900 now. And if you're a safe driver, you can save up to 45%.
Just a few more ways Allstate is changing car insurance for good.
Call an Allstate agent and get a quote now.
When heartburn comes creeping up on you, fight back with relief so smooth, it's fast. Tums Smoothie starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
Sir, we're loaded and getting ready to go. We're going to need you on the runway.
Don't let a severe cold hold you back.
Sir?
Theraflu starts to get to work in your body in just 5 minutes. Theraflu breaks you free from your worst cold and flu symptoms. Theraflu, serious power.
Let's take you out to the I-95 corridor right now. We've had some issues this morning. Yesterday, we had the Clipper snow come through into the overnight, and some of that refroze. We had a little bit of freezing drizzle, some freezing fog out there, and there have been some icy spots that caused some accidents this morning. And guys, don't get too settled. Even after things get better today, we've got another round of wintry weather, actually 2, coming in this weekend, and we're going to show you and describe what's coming your way. But first, let's take a look at what's going on out there right now. It's been a busy morning. You know, here you might have thought the system was through, but we are actually left with some issues out there after this came through. This was the Clipper snow that we got yesterday. Nearly or just over 2.5 inches in Cleveland, all the way to Baltimore. A pretty good swath of snow there that caused some issues yesterday on the roads, but also today, even this morning, it was that leftover that froze. Any wet spots froze overnight, and we had issues this morning. Now we take a look right now, a little bit of light flurry activity, not a big deal coming in across Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania. This is what's left of the Clipper here, leaving Long Island right now. And so that's actually going away, and things will improve there as well weather-wise for today. We look at the snowfall for the season in these cities like Boston and Hartford and New York City, all well below average. We've only picked up 3 inches of snow here in New York City so far this season. Philly, less than that, only 2. The question is, with 2 more chances of getting snow over the weekend, in particular, this big one, Winter Storm Iola, will we add anything to these totals and start to catch up? Chris, what do you think?
Well, you know what, Jen? I think that sometimes Mother Nature can make up for a snow deficit in a big way, and there's a couple shots at it, as Jen was mentioning. First, starting with this low pressure that's going to move up the East Coast. Now, the track will be a huge factor in this, whether or not there's enough cold air in place to meet that moisture. So now looking at Saturday, and that's when we're looking for that threat of some snow. There will be snow in some of the inland locations. It's just a matter of if that cold air is going to get all the way down into the I-95 corridor, and it looks like at least for some period of time there will be snow in the big cities into Saturday night. So this is our official forecast at this point. We will fine-tune it as we get closer to this event. So through Sunday morning, we're looking at some spots 3 to 5 inches. That's the inland locations, but get up around parts of northern New Jersey, New York, into Connecticut, Rhode Island, over to Boston. We're going to be dealing with, it looks like at this point, 1 to 3 inches of snow. But again, seeing a lot of snow right now from the same storm that's going to impact here in Texas right now.
Yes, we are. In fact, the snow in Texas, record-breaking. 11 to 13 inches of snow are some of the totals that have come out of the Texas Panhandle, and your pictures have been amazing. Thank you for sharing them. This one is from Alyssa in Dalhart, Texas, north of Amarillo.
Yeah, she put this on my Twitter, and she says that 2 days ago, flip-flops and 71.
Oh, isn't that the way it goes here in Texas, though? You wait an hour and the weather changes. That's the saying. But literally, you went changing seasons in a couple of hours. hours. Let's go to Canyon, Texas.
And Jackie, thanks for this. Looking at, it looks like from the garage looking out, because you go perfectly dry to at least a couple of inches here.
All those cars need to be cleaned off, the driveway. You know, you're going to have to at least make a path out for not a huge amount to shovel, but you want to keep it nice and clear so that you don't get any freezing of this.
You know what? It looks like plenty of snow to play. To go out and at least enjoy it. And I think Dr. Postel, he has a really big smile on his face right now. Why is that?
Big snowball fight. Don't you think?
A big one.
Yeah, why not?
Discussing the type of snow we think this is, and it seems like this should be a good wet snow, snowball packing, snowman making kind of snow.
But not so snow that your hands get wet through your gloves. Just enough to get the good pack.
I don't know. I'm thinking both. You know, here's the thing. You could build all kinds of snow caves in there. I used to do that a lot. You know, just in the driveway, you pile up a little snow, and then you hide in there, and you jump out, and then you throw snowballs at cars.
Kids, be careful.
Yeah, this guy's got experience.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
They'll get out and chase you sometimes.
I know. Don't do that.
All right. Well, this is one of the craziest things you can experience during a snowstorm. Take a look and listen.
It is a Weather Channel favorite because it is rare. It's hard to get. Thunder, snow. So thunder during snow, it's so quiet, the muffled sound, and then you get thunder.
And it's so exciting. We'll show more of this coming up after your local on the 8th.
And that's in the house.
Your puppy. He's a bundle of energy and curious about everything. Keep him going strong with a wide selection of the best puppy food brands at PetSmart. Right now, save up to $5 on select puppy food. PetSmart.
You know, I tried one of those bargain paper towels, but I had to use so many sheets per spill, the roll just disappeared. I knew I should have bought Bounty. Bounty is 2 times more absorbent and strong when wet. Just look how much longer Bounty lasts versus one of those bargain brand towels. And that's a good deal. Bounty, the long-lasting picker-upper. And now try new Bounty NFL prints, available at Walmart.
Every Sunday night, we're taking our cameras to 14,000 feet.
This ain't a good place to make a mistake.
With these extreme fortune seekers.
Look how blue that is!
Gambling on the dig of their lives.
Get down now! This is an absolute extreme situation. If this is my last year on the mountain, be a fine way to go out.
Season 3, Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 78. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 69. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 80. Winds south-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Your eyes really are unique.
In fact, they depend on a unique set of nutrients. That's why there's Ocuvite, to help protect your eye health.
As you age, your eyes can lose vital nutrients. Ocuvite helps replenish key eye nutrients. Ocuvite is a vitamin made just for your eyes from the eye care experts at Bausch & Lomb. Ocuvite has a unique formula that's just not found in any leading multivitamin.
Your eyes are unique.
So help protect your eye health with Ocuvite.
Don't miss the Princess Cruises 50th anniversary sale. Our biggest sale ever. Save up to $500 per person. Everywhere we sail, all around the world. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Grandpa Bodie, Grandma said you used to be out of control.
Really? I guess I did take some risks. I trained a little bit differently. I was a little too honest sometimes. The media is useless.
You were out of control.
But not always.
Why do you want to shop Walmart's new selection of stylish frames? Because you need a surprisingly low price to match that surprising new look.
Oh, sorry. My ringtone.
The new frames and new styles you want are at the Walmart Vision Center, starting at $58. Walmart.
Nabbed, booked, locked up. Case closed? You don't know ARP. Because the AARP Fraud Watch Network means everyone can protect themselves and their families from scams and identity theft. With local alerts, tips from law enforcement, and the inside scoop from former con artists. Real possibilities to stay ahead of the bad guys. If you don't think beat con men at their own game,
there is something in the people, something in the sand, there's something in the air, something in the water, something in the night. It's called All Right, and it's something you can only find here. Jamaica, home of All Right.
Your cold doesn't rest, but now you can. Cold-Ease Daytime, Nighttime Quick Melts dissolve quickly to shorten your cold. Nighttime Quick Melts shorten your cold, plus help you fall asleep and wake up naturally. Cold-Ease Zinc Ions released in your mouth inhibit the cold virus from replicating, making Cold-Ease the #1 pharmacist recommended brand.
I'm Ted Karkas, CEO, and I guarantee Cold-Ease will shorten your cold or your money back. No questions asked.
Come and find out. There's no obligation, and you can receive a decision in minutes. Visit us online at ondeck.com today.
Every Sunday, the Titans of weather bring the rain. Geek Out, Sundays at noon on the Weather Channel.
Time now for the winter weather update here on the Weather Channel. We're in the lab, and we have just learned that hurricane hunters are going to be flying into, eventually, Winter Storm Iola.
Exactly. And so we're going to talk more about when and what they will be looking for when they fly into it. It all feeds into this very interesting, very well-developed storm that we're expecting along the eastern seaboard. So let's bring in Dr. Postel and talk first about the storm itself and what it means for folks all the way from Texas into the Northeast.
Yeah, it's a big one. And in fact, you know, the sort of life it's going to take tomorrow doesn't even show up on the maps now. But by the time we see it this weekend, we'll see a big storm on the weather charts lurking off the East Coast, which can oftentimes bring big snows and big weather with it.
And that's not the only one either.
Right, yeah, this is one bunch. We had one yesterday, and here comes another one.
There's another one on its heels, and there's a lot of uncertainty with that in the northwest flow behind it. Right now, some of the guidance is kind of flipped. Some of them bring more snow into the northeast. Some of them just completely take it offshore. We'll obviously look at the details coming up.
Yeah, we're showing that in our globe. So we had a clipper yesterday. We're going to get a coastal storm the weekend, Saturday, and then behind it there could be another clipper coming in from the Midwest to the Northeast. So a busy pattern we're in.
Kind of snowy, right? I mean, we haven't been into a snowy pattern in the Northeast yet this season, and we're kind of staring down some systems that might just double their seasonal totals in 6 hours.
Let's break down Iola first, because you've got the snow totals up here. This is from our coastal storm.
Right. This is the weekend, and you can see that really it does include the I-95 corridor. And you might think, well, why aren't there more snowfall amounts? This is going to be a big storm. Well, it's a trick, because sometimes when you have these giant storms that develop rapidly, they can pretty effectively bring warm air to the beach and to the coast and just a little bit inland. And the other factor I think that maybe bringing the snow totals down in this one, at least on the coast, is there's not a lot of cold air during the impact time. In other words, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, there's not an Arctic high that's sliding down from Canada. We're not really seeing a ton of that. But
there's the old adage, predict the high, predict the snow. You really do need that high.
Yes, you do, Jen and Chris, that's right. And we're talking to 1 or 2 degrees. So this is borderline. Stay tuned, a little wiggle in the degree or two, and it's a totally different ball game. A very, very powerful storm system, pressure down to 975 millibars, not too far away from Nantucket.
I can totally picture what the snow is going to look like, though. When it, for places that change over, you're going to start with a heavy rain, then all of a sudden you get these big flakes mixing in, and it looks beautiful, and you collect them in your hands, and, probably looks like diamonds or something.
Maybe some thunder snow, too. I don't know if that'll be right.
To you, Jeff.
Yeah, and, there may be some thunder snow with this, too. Not necessarily inland, but, where this thing is rapidly deepening, we're near the low-pressure center, there may be a lot of thunderstorm activity helping to get it going. And sometimes we see that with these giant winter cyclones over the Atlantic.
We've seen a little thunder snow already.
Yeah,
and let's take a look and listen to some of that.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Have you guys ever heard that?
Yes.
Yes. It's really exciting.
It is. It's kind of shocking. You think, winter, thunderstorm. Well, a lot of times it's not the actual temperature that matters. You think it's got to be hot to have a thunderstorm. It's the temperature difference between the ground and the air. If the air aloft is very cold, you got a very powerful system aloft. It can still be cold on the ground. It's just that much colder aloft than you get a thunderstorm.
So this is the beginning of Iola. Will you talk about what your thoughts are on the hurricane hunters flying into it?
Yeah, that's interesting. Sometimes these very powerful winter cyclones do need the thunderstorm activity to help them get very intense. And the fact that we're seeing it in the models ramp up in intensity very quickly suggests to me that what's called latent heating is playing a big role in its development. A lot of thunderstorm activity near the center may be having some properties not that different from a tropical cyclone, at least for a little while. So maybe they're looking into it to see exactly what's going on inside of there.
So where will Iola be when the hurricane hunters fly through?
Off the East Coast, I think. Don't know for sure exactly when they're leaving and how long it takes to get there, but somewhere around there.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. Greg Postel, thank you.
And we have a lot of interesting developments that we're going to follow with Winter Storm Iola from the southern plains now moving into the northeast. Back in 60 seconds.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 78. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 69. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 80. Winds south-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Winter Storm Iola is here, and it's already a record-setting storm.
This season, our 9th named storm, and it's just getting started. We're in the lab here because we're going to break down all angles of this huge, what will be a weather event that's going to take us from Texas to Maine.
I know, isn't that nuts? You're going to want to stay right here because we have everything from the amount of snow you're going to get to how much it'll impact the Northeast this weekend, and that's all right here, right now in Weather Center Live.
This is Weather Center Live. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Chris Warren.
And I'm Jen Carfagno. We are in the lab today, joined by our storm specialist, Dr. Greg Postel. And Dr. Postel, we're going to break down where Iola's heading, how much snow we're expecting to get out of it. That's all coming up in just a few minutes. But first, we've been just ogling over the amounts of snow that have already fallen.
And we really appreciate getting the pictures in from Twitter and the video we've been seeing coming into the Weather Channel headquarters here. And we're seeing this snow come down, these big flakes coming down in Amarillo.
Look at that. Oh, you can see it in the lights of the cars driving. In this case, on roads that look a little snow covered out there, but the DOT has been busy, and they really have made some good progress on this 13 inches of snow in the Amarillo area.
And Dave Malkoff has been doing his part, making some progress on the cars and on the roads out there, Dave.
Yeah, I'm trying my hardest. It's a little, I'm gonna run out of breath before I see any grass down here. Here's what the grass used to look like. just yesterday afternoon when it started drizzling here. Just yesterday afternoon it started drizzling. That's the last time we had green grass here in Amarillo, Texas. Then it turned into snow, just kept on going and going overnight, and then it turned into this by this morning. But then the TxDOT trucks, they came and they cleared the roadway. So look, these vehicles are going probably a little faster than they should be going. Don't get too confident on the roadways because we may have a little bit more coming our way, right?
Yeah, right, Dave. And on that point, too, don't be too confident because where it is still snowing, you're going to have to watch out, Dave, for visibility is going down as well. So let's go ahead right now and we'll take a look at where that snow is coming down. Here's a look, the Panhandle of Texas, Amarillo. You head down the interstate to Lubbock. It's 31 degrees, and we're still dealing with some of that snow. Clouds here in Amarillo into Plainville. Some snow at times. The blue showing us where the snow is right now. And there has been several inches of snow in so many spots. In fact, Elk City reporting 6 to 8 inches of snow here, and in Anson here, just an inch. So right in here with all those little circles with the snowflakes in, those are all storm reports of snow, and in some cases, several inches of snow. So Dave, we're looking at all of that snow where you are, and just a couple of days ago, we were here in shorts and flip-flops.
Yeah, well, for the people who live here in North Texas, yeah, now they've got this slush on the roadway, and that actually points out what you were talking about. Just a few days ago, it was people were walking around in shorts, and so the ground is still very warm, so it turns into slush when it hits. It is much snowier here than it is in Philly. It's much snowier here than it is in Boston. It's much snowier than it is in New York City. New York City! Isn't that what they say in Texas? That's
exactly right.
You know what Dave needs to do? Dave needs to get some salsa from Texas and some snow and send it both to New York City.
Yeah, because at least we know one of them's heading there.
Right.
Thank you, Dave Malkoff, reporting from Amarillo, Texas. And this storm is not done with the south yet. Let's go to Jen with a look at the snow forecast.
Yes, let's look and see what's happening out here. So, you guys are mentioning the wind. I did just check the winds in New Mexico right now. We've got some very gusty winds in Albuquerque, over 30, 35 miles per hour. So the wind will be a factor, blowing around some of that snow as well. But I want you to look at the water vapor and look right here. You see this spin? That's the upper level energy. That has to kick all the way through before we'll see an end to everything. And right now, we're getting some of the more steady snow down here in southern New Mexico and into Texas, West Texas, especially well south of Lubbock. And we'll be watching for that snow continuing there on the order of 1 to 3 inches, mainly. A few spots getting about 3 to 5 inches of snow. Now, I will tell you, around El Paso, we have seen snow coming down, very moderate snow right there. Interstate 10 in the areas, the westbound lanes have been closed for some time because of folks, traffic backing up and the snow on the interstate. And of course, plows are out working that area as well. Tracking the snow through New Mexico and Texas today. Where does it go next? Guys, Chris and Greg, I leave that good question to you.
Jen, it's going to the Northeast. I mean, really, we've seen this now the last couple of days. It's been pretty clear that they're going to get a brush with snow. The question is exactly how much. And that depends, I think, on the temperature. Not that it's going to be a big storm or a small storm. We think it's going to be a very powerful storm offshore. But how cold is it going to be? Is it going to be cold enough to get a lot of snow in there to the Northeast cities, right on the I-95 corridor? I do think they're going to get certainly accumulating snow, and that is kind of unusual for this year. Many of these locations have had very little, and I think this storm will double their totals for the season with this one alone. But stay tuned, guys, because we have to watch the track and exactly how much cold air is going to be retained as the storm moves along its track. Because you know what? By tomorrow evening, Saturday evening, when the storm is really getting going off the coast, you look at some of these, and I don't see a lot of purples in here suggesting some Arctic cold is in place over New England. That's one of the things that you really need for a blizzard. Instead, we'll have temperatures very close to 32 all the way through the event.
This is the thing. It's going to be a matter of degrees, a degree or two. That is the difference between a lot of cold rain or a lot of heavy snow.
Yeah, and you know, the track of this storm is actually in many ways ideal for bringing snow all the way to the coast in a big way. But the problem is, one of the ingredients, Jen and Chris, that you and I talk about a lot is the fact that there's no really cold high pressure system off to the north during the event. And so it's going to have to probably live on the limited cold it's got or produce its own. How about that? If it's strong enough, they
this is
can
the
do
kind
that.
of system that could do that, actually.
The stronger ones can do that.
Yeah,
just
produce
enough.
its own cold air.
And we'll get into that a little bit more coming up a little bit later. And as Dr. Postel's talking about, if you do live in the Northeast, you're going to have to pay attention to the Weather Channel now right through the event because there's a lot going on.
Yes, there is. It's going to be a significant event. We'll look more at the timing, the amounts, and the potential weekend impacts, all coming up next.
And we do want to see your pictures. This is another one from New Mexico.
Oh, wow. Richard, thank you for this really fun picture. Look at that.
We're almost there. If your bladder is calling the shots, you may have a medical condition called overactive bladder, or OAB.
Again? But we just went.
Ask your doctor about Mirbetriq, Mirabegron, to treat the OAB symptoms of urgency, frequency, and leakage.
Seriously? It's time to go to the doctor.
Mirbetriq is the first and only medicine in its class for OAB.
Mirbetriq may increase your blood pressure. Mirbetriq may increase your chances of not being able to empty your bladder. Tell your doctor right away if you have trouble emptying your bladder or have a weak urine stream. Mirbetriq may affect or be affected by other medications. So tell your doctor about all the medicines you take. Before taking Mirbetriq, tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. Common side effects include increased blood pressure, common cold symptoms, urinary tract infection, and headache.
If your overactive bladder is calling the shots, ask your doctor about Mirbetriq. Visit mybladder.com to see if you're eligible for a year's worth of savings on Mirbetriq.
Here's critically important news for small business owners. Financing is now available in as little as 3 days. Trusted national lender Rapid Advance understands that small businesses need working capital to seize opportunities. That's why tens of thousands of small businesses have found the funding they need to grow with Rapid Advance. Rapid Advance provides financing up to $500,000. Approvals take as little as 1 day, and funds are available in as little as 3 days. If you've been in business for at least 1 year, call 877-GO-RAPID or visit rapidadvance.com.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 79. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds. Friday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 80. Winds south-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday, the Titans of Weather bring the rain. Geek Out, Sundays at noon on the Weather Channel.
Heartburn.
Did someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven to taste better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Didn't you already do all this over there?
Just wait. Parties always end up in the kitchen.
Get more Pepsi and Tostitos with unbeatable prices. Backed by Savings Catcher. Walmart.
Every day, Bill had a choice. He could do the same old boring things,
Or he could start speaking a new language with Rosetta Stone.
Je t'aime.
The fastest way to learn a language.
Comme ça?
Très bien. Guaranteed. Right now, you have the same choice. You could let time pass you by, or you could seize the day. Experience the new Rosetta Stone. Call now for a free demo at 1-800-ROSETTA.
Whether it's snow, sand, or mud, there's only one way to keep your vehicle's floor perfectly protected all year long. WeatherTech floor liners, laser measured to perfectly protect your specific vehicle, front, back, even up the sides. So what gets in the liner stays in the liner until you wash it away. Shop now at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech, proudly made in America.
Weather has been busy lately, hasn't it? Whoa. We had this beautiful snow yesterday, very picturesque on the White House in Washington, D.C., the Capitol. It's back there. You could even see it with the snow coming down thanks to the Clipper system that brought snow from Michigan to Ohio to Pennsylvania, all the way through the Mid-Atlantic, Jersey, even the New York City area, tri-state, got a little snow out of this. So this Clipper brought snow yesterday, and it affected your travel. Kids got out of school yesterday early thanks to all the snow that fell. And it was on the order of 1 to 2 inches. Philly ended up with about a ½ inch officially. And then down here towards Baltimore, we picked up about 2.5 inches of snow. The problem is anything that didn't go away or get cleared refroze overnight. And we had some black ice problems this morning. Some of the interstates have been slippery in spots earlier. But you'll notice as we look out right now in Baltimore, Maryland, first of all, the blue sky. And things really have dried up nicely. The roads look dry. And the other thing that you can't see from this vantage point is temperatures have warmed up. We're 35 to 38 degrees all throughout the area, so no more concerns about any black ice out there, and the snow is on its way out as well. Now, speaking of snow, in all of these spots here in the Northeast, we are below average compared to the season typical averages. So will we pick up any new snowfall to bump us up a little bit closer to average with this latest storm, Iola? Chris and Greg, what do you guys think?
Well, you know what, Jen? It's possible that some of the Northeast cities could double what they have so far this season. As we look at the forecast here, the Weather Channel forecast from Winter Storm Iola, snow from Tennessee all the way through West Virginia, Pennsylvania, into New York and into Boston. And there's looking anywhere from about 1 to 5 inches, depending on which big city we're dealing with here and the exact track of this storm. As far as the timing goes, we're going to watch this through Saturday. Really, later in the day, any rain likely to change over to snow for some of these bigger cities. Some other cities here staying all rain situation from the Mid-Atlantic into the Southeast. And the way this is going to play out on Saturday night, more likely an all snow situation. You get up into New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. And then we're looking at this. Another thing that we need to talk about, because those numbers potentially could change based on the track of this storm. Where does that low go? So that's what we want to talk to with our storm specialist, Dr. Greg Postel.
Yeah, the track of this storm, Greg, is actually lining up to be in what could be a perfect setup for big snow if everything else in the weather and the atmosphere lines up.
Yeah, I think it's a good one in many cases, and would be in many other scenarios where you've got the low going right over that spot on the map called the benchmark, 40 north, 70 west longitude there. And you have that spot in there because it brings in a lot of Atlantic moisture, and also oftentimes has cold air on the backside. And you put those together, you get a lot of snow. So oftentimes the track there leads to big snows in New England.
Yeah, meteorologists have looked at past storms and saw that all the storms that take this track, generally have access to a decent amount of Atlantic moisture coming in. The key is how much cold air is in place to interact with that.
Let me do something. Let me go back and let's look at the last few runs from the ECMWF or the Euro model, which is a pretty accurate model in many ways. And look how the track from the previous runs has gone very close to, if not right over, the benchmark. This was Tuesday evening's forecast. Now we're going through yesterday morning's forecast, Wednesday morning. Then last night's forecast, and then this morning's forecast. Guys, if you kind of zoom in, recent models have been really consistent on bringing this thing right over the benchmark, which is right there. Usually a good snowmaker for this part of the coast. But as I said, one of the things that we're lacking in this area to start with is a lot of cold air. Now, we talked about if this storm gets really strong, it could generate enough of its own cold air on the northwest side and dump a lot of snow very quickly in southeastern New England. Watch out.
All right, Greg, thank you for that. That's a great tease. We'll have to talk more about that.
Before the snow in the Northeast, comes the rain in the south.
Yes, we've already got rain in Texas, and we'll show you where you will see more of this. All of these raindrops out here on the lens of this camera, and no doubt on your windshield as you leave today.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Our little leaf that helps guide you through the past. Simply type in a name, and you're taken on a journey. A journey that crosses generations and continents. All to tell the most amazing story. Yours. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
Hut, hut. When it comes to losing weight, everyone has a number. And if you want to get your performance back and feel great, do what I did. One call and I lost it all. 22 pounds gone.
Lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus Kit. Lose 5 pounds in your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist, or your money back, guaranteed.
Nutrisystem has everything you need to feel better, look better, and perform better at any age, faster than ever before.
I haven't felt this good in years. Thank you, Nutrisystem. I lost 8 pounds in the first week.
Order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now, including Fast 5 Plus. Get 1 week of meals, plus 1 week of energizing shakes and craving crusher shakes, free. New food selections, new expert guides. Call now and lock in 2014 prices, and shipping is free.
Whether your number's 10 or 50, make the right call. Nutrisystem.
Call 877-398-SIZE now and lose your first 5 pounds fast.
Now is the time to experience the freedom of guided travel with Colette. Marvel at iconic landmarks. Savor delicious meals. Come to know new cultures and make new friends. Across all 7 continents, enjoy immersive itineraries featuring experiences you can only find with Colette. All you have to do is embrace the...
Don't miss the biggest auto event of the year, the 9th annual Boca Raton Concours d'Elegance, February 20th through the 22nd. This year, we celebrate the history of Cadillac and the 50th anniversary of the Ford Mustang. The festivities begin Friday night with our exclusive hangar party. Saturday, Howie Mandel provides the laughs following our gala dinner auction. And join us Sunday for the Concours d'Elegance, showcasing some of the world's finest antique and exotic cars and cycles. Details at bocacde.com.
I am the luckiest woman in the world because I was one of the first people to sail on Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line's beautiful Grand Celebration, the newest and best cruise to the Bahamas. With 2 fun-filled nights on the ship, a spectacular day in the Bahamas, and prices from just $149, you can get lucky too. Call 800-814-7100. That's 800-814-7100. And let the fun begin.
Act now. The call and consultation are free.
Call 1-800-307-9899.
Ride on the most treacherous highway in the world to experience the high risk of heavy rescue. Highway Through Hell, Sundays at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 79. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, some clouds, low 69. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunshine and clouds mixed, high 80. Winds south-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
good morning to you in a rainy Dallas, Texas, and Houston. We've got rain out there. Some of that's going to be heavy at times with some thunderstorms, but not so bad just yet in New Orleans. Panning around the Garden District here looks great for now. Atlanta, a few clouds out there, but wait until you see what's coming. We've got some big rain tracking in, and you can see it in Texas. You know, Dallas, just a couple of showers still left behind, but this rain in southern Texas, San Antonio, is going to be heavy at times. Austin, we've got rain out there, especially north of town. And then Houston, you're sort of getting the worst of the rain right now. That's heaviest of rain anyway. And there could be some thunder and lightning in some of that tracking your way. So this system, this area of low pressure that we're tracking, this is our weather maker that moves through the southeast, eventually moves off the eastern seaboard. And in the south, Chris, this could not mean not just rain, but also could mean some thunderstorms.
Right, and potentially severe thunderstorms. We can't rule out an isolated tornado with this. Not a widespread severe threat, but where there will be some of the stronger storms, you're going to have to watch out and pay attention to the forecast and the conditions throughout the day. Tomorrow, spotty damaging winds, hail as well, and again, an isolated tornado possible here in the red. The way this is playing out right now, you have this area of low pressure that we're going to be tracking, and as it slowly moves closer to the Florida Panhandle, we're going to have that threat for some storms during the day tomorrow, and right in this area, spotty damaging winds, some hail as well, and we're also going to look at some very heavy rain. That's another thing you have to think about when you're heading out the door and you're hitting the roads. Then these quick downbursts of rain make it very dangerous quickly to be on the roads. We are going to be watching this as it moves through because there is that threat for some severe weather. And in Tallahassee, it plays out like this. Regular old rain early on for the morning drive to work, and then by lunchtime, thunderstorms. And for the evening drive, some of these storms could bring with them damaging winds, and that's something you do need to be careful of. Also, we did have some very serious severe weather right before Christmas. It was on December 23rd when a tornado hit the small Mississippi town of Columbus. And Christmas celebrations quickly turned into a time of hard work and reflection, not just for its victims, but also the First Response Team of America. Maria LaRosa has the story.
Christmas morning in Columbia, Mississippi, and Linda Bolton's family has gathered not to open gifts around the tree, but to salvage them from the rubble.
We've lost everything. The toys, for your children, the gifts for your wives, the husband, whatever the case may be. When that wind came through, man, it took everything.
Linda was inside her home as it was ravaged by the EF3 tornado just 2 days before Christmas.
I've never seen nothing like it. You just think that's it. You really think that's the end.
Her home was one of 12 lived in by close relatives along this half-mile stretch of road. Every one of them was damaged or destroyed by the storm.
It wiped us completely out. You know, some people can take a loss and go to their other family member's house, but we all live around each other.
Soon after the tornado struck, the First Response Team of America began a 17-hour, 1,000-mile drive from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and arrived in Columbia on Christmas Eve.
I just knew that on Christmas morning, people were going to be out in their rubble. I wanted my team to be here for these families.
On Christmas Day, the team went to work for the Boltons, sacrificing their holiday to help the families